Hello, everyone. My name is Manada, and I'm currently the chair and guiding teacher at the Tacoma Buddhist Center. And it's an immense pleasure and honor to introduce Will Johnson, who I met in 2017. At that time, even though I was an experienced meditator and teacher, when I read his book, The Posture of Meditation, it literally blew my mind. I found his simple yet really profound and powerful approach of alignment, relaxation, and resilience, like a light bulb going off for me. And I started making all these connections and felt like I had truly found something unique and valuable that I stumbled upon. And so I soaked up everything I could. I went to his website and I listened to his entire Hollow Bamboo retreat, which I highly recommend. I became convinced that, this was someone I really wanted to learn more from. And so I invited Will to lead a weekend retreat here in Tacoma, Washington. And it was complete synchronicity because he and his beautiful wife, Coco, were only in the United States for a limited time frame before moving to Costa Rica to live more permanently. And so everything came together beautifully. We had a date for the retreat, the venue, and publicity all planned out within, I think, a week. It was a wonderful, wonderful retreat, and Will's teachings are still alive in our community today. Since then, I've continued to learn from Will and saw him and Coco last year in Costa Rica on private retreat, which I also highly recommend. So I'm really thrilled and happy for Will that his teachings through this online format. And I've personally, really benefited from his wisdom and clarity. But more importantly, I was reflecting on this. I've really benefited from how Will communicates and how he makes me feel. His kindness, generosity, his sense of humor, humility, and compassion really come shining through simply in his presence. And these are the conditions that are necessary for growth and learning to occur. So I'm really excited that you get to experience this directly for yourself today. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Will.
Aha, there I am. Okay, thank you, Manita. Very, very kind words. A little embarrassed, but very, very kind words. Now, as you can see, here I am in Costa Rica. There's some very, very wonderful things about living in Costa Rica. Internet connections and electricity are not high on the list. So I'm at a friend's house this morning. We had a power transformer just blow up in our neighborhood, which was fine because I had to come down here anyway because we didn't have any internet. But here I am. I'm happy to connect in with you all again. Those of you who don't know me, I'm Will Johnson. What I've wanted to do today is share with you a specific practice that increasingly is becoming one of the centerpieces of the whole Hollow Bamboo Dharma meditation practice. It's a practice that is very, very strong, very, very strong. Definitely wakes up, the entire system. We're going to be doing an abbreviated version of it here in a little bit, but you're going to see it really enlivens the felt presence of the body, which is so much my focus of what I'm wanting to do with these practices. I've said before, I love the Buddhist Dharma. I love the 2,500-year wisdom tradition. And I've often felt that a lot of the way sitting meditation is being taught here in the West now, as the Dharma is coming over here from Asia, it needs a kind of recalibration. It needs to wake itself up. It's become a little bit dry, a little bit brittle, almost. What I've seen is, some of the teachings have from my perspective, veered a little bit away from what I believe the true focus of the Dharma, needs to be. We want to wake up. That's what Buddha means. It means to wake up. And what's so very, very asleep about our experience right now is that the quality of consciousness that passes as normal in the world at large is a consciousness lost in thought. We all know what that is. We're all very, very familiar with that. If we're honest with ourselves, we take a moment and say, well, what's really going on right now in my experience? Well, what's going on is that I have this parade of unbidden random thought. It's just kind of gathering on. Now, when that is occurring, when our center of gravity is lodged up in these thoughts, we actually lose touch, literally lose touch with the awakened felt presence of the body. So in a sense, what happens, the feeling presence of the body goes to sleep. And this, for me, tragically, is the quality that passes as normal in the world at large. Most of us, most of the time, are lost in thought and out of touch with the presence of the body. So, the teachings that I've been doing are, they come out of my experience. I've been playing with the sitting practice now. I was thinking about this the other day. For over 50 years at this point, I'm a slow learner. It's taken me a while, but bit by bit and piece by piece, I've come to understand what hasn't been working in the world of sitting meditation and what needs to occur to just revitalize our experience on the cushion or on the chair or on a kneeling bench. Largely the teachings that I share with the larger Buddhist world have to do with sitting. And in some ways, what I teach is sitting. That people have asked me, well, what's your background? What lineage are you are you committed to, or have you delved into? And the honest answer to that is yes. I have had teachers from the Vipassana tradition, from the Zen tradition, from the Vajrayana tradition, but I never formally affiliated myself with any one teacher or any one tradition. I preferred instead to focus on the denominator that's common to all those traditions, which is the sitting posture. To me, what meditation is about is sitting. We sit down and we breathe. And whether we're doing that through the lens of a Zen school or a Vajrayana lineage or a form of Vipassana, everybody's, in a sense, doing fundamentally the same thing with their body. We're sitting down and we're breathing. It's interesting. Let's say we had a hall of sitting meditators and there were some Zen students and some Vajrayana practitioners and Vipassana yogis, and they're all sitting, doing their practice. Even someone familiar with sitting meditation practice could come into the room and say, well, it looks like they're all doing the same thing. So for me, the practice is primarily about getting good at the sitting, or bringing in a few very, very simple principles that actually make the sitting, turn the sitting posture itself into a mudra of transformation, where if we sit in a way that is upright, that is relaxed, and that is resiliently moving, we have no choice. But the Dharma has no choice but to start revealing itself through us. And here in the background now, we've started getting a little bit of rain. We've been out on these outer bands of this hurricane Eta that didn't hit Costa Rica directly, but has caused huge rains. And right when we came on, there was a white-faced monkey in the background here as well. So let's just see what what happens for us during this time together. Now, in most of the retreats that I've taught over the last 20 years, the main focus is, first of all, playing with the upright. Why do we play with the upright? What is it about this? There's only one coordinate, one spatial coordinate remember as a kid, you balance a broom upside down on your hand, and if you got it in this perfect vertical, it would just hover there. Looked like magic. Well, the same thing is true for any structure that's able to organize itself around a predominantly vertical axis. And think of the tallest trees on the planet, the sequoia trees. Think of skyscrapers. Think of the cathedrals, Gothic cathedrals. We can organize around a vertical axis and something nearly magical happens, or certainly to humans. And the Buddha tells us this. The very, very first instruction of sitting down to meditate, what the Buddha tells us is sit with the spine erect and upright. And it's not just form, or it's not just aesthetics. There's something that happens when we play with this sense of alignment, the sense of the upright. You know what happens? What happens is we create a structure that can start letting go. Now think about this for a moment. If you're sitting in a way, a very, very common way of sitting, especially I've seen this in Southeast Asia, where this particular sutta is revered, people will sit in a kind of collapsed posture. Their weight is behind the sitting bones, the head is dropped down, and it may look relaxed, but it's not, because you really do have to brace yourself, or if you let go, you just tumble to the ground. You just tumble to the ground. Or you severely restrict the free flow of energy through your body, as we find, and we're going to find at the end of our practice here today, a great deal more flowing sensation passing through the body. So the purpose of alignment is so we can start relaxing and letting go. And relaxing in some ways is surrendering the weight of the body to the force of gravity. Well, the only way we can do that is if we're playing with upright balance. We have the upright, we can start letting go. So everybody, as you're sitting, let's all sit together now. Sit. And sit in such a way, one of the somatic koans I use is how tall can I be while being as relaxed as I can be. So it's not like a soldier standing at attention, or a ballet dancer, preening for height, but it's not a kind of collapse. We may think this is relaxed, it really isn't. I want a dynamic relaxation. So on my inhalation, think of the body as a pranic balloon. That's going to be helpful for the practice we're about to do. And on the inhalation, I'm going to fill up that whole of the pranic balloon. And on the inhalation, feel my body become as tall as I can be. And then let go on the exhalation. Retracts a little bit. On the inhalation, you fill up the pranic balloon, and the whole of the spine is going to lengthen. Full breath. Now look, relaxation is also about awakening the body and letting go of whatever tension we feel. In Ubakim style Vipassana, for those of you who have been involved in that practice, we pass our awareness through the body, awakening sensation. All you have to do is put your awareness in any part of your body, and there's sensation. What's the sensation? Put your hand out right now. Everybody, especially those of you who haven't sat with me before. And if you put your awareness in your hand, what's going on? How would the hand describe itself if it could speak? How could it describe what's going on? Well, there might be some weight, there might be some temperature at the surface, but if you go more deeply right into the center of the hand, some people will say, there's energy, there is life, there's tingling, there's little pinprick blips of sensation that's shimmering. That's there. That's what the awakened body experiences itself as, right? But again, if we're lost in our mind, we have to hold our bodies in such a way so we're put those sensations to sleep. Literally put them to sleep. We don't feel them. It gets numb or painful. Remember, the Buddha wants us to come awake. He needs to awaken. Body is a unified field of shimmering sensation. So I sit up tall, I start relaxing through the whole body. I take my awareness through the body from the top of my head, slowly down, part by part, or fast through the whole body, or all at once. Wherever I feel tension, just soften, just relax. We just let go so easily. We start relaxing. Now, the most radical piece that I bring to the Dharma conversation is my insistence that if we are truly to relax, we have to keep allowing subtle, spontaneous, amoeba-like motion to occur, frankly, at every joint in the body in resilient response to the breath that wants to move through a relaxed body in the same way that a wave moves through a body of water. Can we relax so strongly that as I breathe in, as I breathe out, as I fill and empty the pranic balloon of the body, that sensation not only occurs, but I can keep relaxing tension by making sure that I do not stay within a condition of frozen stillness. Okay. Ordinarily when I sit in front of a hall of sitting meditators, well, it hasn't happened for quite a long time now. But there will be group gatherings that'll happen again sometime in the future. But when I would do that, I'd sit and I'd look out at the large hall of meditators. And the first thing that would always catch my eye is that everybody was sitting very still, almost frozen, as though we've somehow gotten this idea that the goal of the practice is to become like a stone garden statue of the Buddha. So it's something, I'll see people, kind of sitting like this. Very, very still. Now, sitting still in that way does not allow you to relax. Remember the first statement, the Buddha tells us to sit with the spine erect and upright. We go to the Vajrayana teachings, the Mahamudra teacher, Tilopa, Sangha Mahamudra, the whole of meditation instruction, just relax. Do nothing but relax. So we have to awaken the shimmer. So then we have something to relax. Now for relaxation to continue over time, as we breathe in, as we breathe out, for a dynamic relaxation to continue to occur, there has to be this constant amoeba-like motion. Now, if we can start allowing that one thing, it radically alters our experience of sitting meditation. Because if we sit with a frozen and still posture, again, the stone garden statue posture of the Buddhism, what occurs is that we just bring tension into the body. There could be, everybody just sit and hold yourself absolutely as still as possible. Really freeze. Don't let a single muscle move. You just bring tension in. How can you even breathe? You can't breathe. And this holding quality just fuels the already out of control parade of thoughts. So just let that go. And as much as possible, while we're sitting here, play with this notion. Tall, relaxed. responsive to motion. Air comes in. It's like filling up a balloon. You can feel click, 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 the motion occurring through the whole of the body. And the exhale, everything gets smaller, shuts back down. Okay, so this to me is the primary practice that I've brought into the Buddhist world, and it has been very gratifying to see more and more people in all the forms, all the schools, and Zen schools, going into sessions, working with these principles, Vipassana yogis, going into Vipassana retreats, playing with alignment, relaxation, resilience, ease of the body. In the Vajrayana world, going into month-long dhatu's, very, very intensive practicing. If you play with these principles, two primary things happen. One, it makes your life on the cushion or sitting on the chair on your kneeling bench infinitely more comfortable. Two, what it does, it just takes you so far deeper, so much more rapidly into the revelatory beauty of the Dharma. We just go deeper, we go deeper, we go deeper. The holding that keeps the mind, the thoughts going, it starts relaxing. The thoughts suddenly disappear. We open our eyes, the visual field suddenly, it's no longer so different. We invite it in. As I breathe with eyes open, I just relax into the visual field. As I exhale with eyes open, I just relax into the visual field. Now, over the years, I've kept looking for ways to keep awakening, certainly awakening the, what I call the shimmer, awakening sensations, inviting sensations. It isn't just in the hand, it's all through the body. Inviting sensations to come alive, welcoming them back from what I call their exile in the land of the unfelt. We're lost in the mind, sensations get exiled, get shut down, we don't feel them. And more, it's almost becoming the centerpiece of my practice, is what I'm calling hollow bamboo breathing. And that's what I'm wanting to present here. We're going to be starting a little Saturday morning retreat over the next 5 Saturdays on this practice for people that really want to explore this and go deep with what this practice is. Where did this practice originate? Where did it come from? In the 1970s and early 1980s, a couple things. Here in the West, there was the work of Wilhelm Reich, the work of Leonard Orr, rebirthing, very, very strong breathing. Woo, very powerful. And it really was fascinating for me because when I also was exposed to that work, I also first heard of a very little known form of Vipassana in Rangoon called Sunlun. And the Sunlun practice was a practice. Here's how they did it in Burma. Now, and you'll see that what I've done is really modified that practice so it more compatibly supports the goals of what I'm calling hollow bamboo Dharma. In Burma, there were just 2 sections. I've made 4 of them. There was one section that lasted an hour and a half, and it was strong, rapid breathing. Now, what's interesting, it was still rather mild, and there are some videos that you can see on YouTube now of Sunlun. It still looks predominantly a little bit milder than I want to see us playing with. But people would sit for an hour and a half. For an hour and a half. And they do this sitting cross-legged on concrete floors. Then the second part of the practice was for another hour and a half. And as we're going to see, even with the 5 minutes of breathing that we're going to be doing, The body awakens, and you just sit with sensation streaming through you. They would do this at the Sunlun Center 3 times a day. I was fascinated by this, and I was exploring so many different forms and approaches to Buddhist practice. I very much wanted to go to Burma in those days. It was very, very hard to get into, and of course, for many years you couldn't even get there. There are Westerners now that I'm assuming are going back to Burma. If we can travel internationally now, I don't know. Maybe in the next couple of years. What I've done is taken that practice and, as I said, modified it and adapted it to more compatibly support the goals of what I call hollow bamboo Dharma. Yes, we want to do that within a posture that is that's playing around this magical vertical axis that's allowing us to let go, to relax completely. And to relax so deeply through the body so that there's no holding still, that when I let go on the inhalation, the air just rushes in and everything expands. Everything expands through the whole body, It moves, the spine, every vertebrae moves. The spine is not a Roman column. The joints between the vertebrae of the spine, no different from joints anywhere in the body. They're there for one purpose only, and that's to move. But so often in these frozen, still postures, it might as well be a Greek column. But we're breathing, wanting people to breathe in such a way. We can feel click, 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 motion through every vertebrae in the spine. Motion, relaxation, resilience, alignment. And what that does is it starts awakening body. Sensations come out like stars at night. Just the night is just fading into twilight. There's the first star. Ooh, there's another. There's a couple. The middle of the night, certainly in a desert location away from the city, the sky is just filled. And it's like that with sensations, just from playing with alignment, relaxation, and resilience. Infinitely more comfortable, infinitely more awakened. So within the hollow bamboo breathing, generally I'll do this for 50, I do 4 sessions myself for about 15 minutes at a time. And what we will be doing here today, we're just going to be doing each section for about 5 minutes. Starting next Saturday, I'm going to introduce the fullness of the practice and invite people to bring this practice into their lives certainly over the 5-week period that we'll be meeting together. So the first phase of the practice, I call it just summoning the helpers, meaning we sit down and do hollow bamboo Dharma. I sit down, I pay attention to the alignment, to the relaxation. I feel the body coming alive. I feel things letting go. Ever more motion, ever more motion. There it is. There it is. The sensations come alive. I do perhaps some of the supplemental practices that we won't be getting into today. There's a practice I call breathing in the 6 directions. It really opens the body. There's a practice that I call virtual acupuncture that totally awakens sensations. And so I sit for 15 minutes. In truth, when I do the practices, sometimes I'll extend that first section to a half an hour. I like doing a lot of sitting. But I'll do that, and then that's preparation. I do that as preparation to then enter into the second section, which I call the breath of awakening. Now, I want people within the upright, relaxed, and you'll see very resilient posture to start breathing forcibly and rapidly. It doesn't have to be through the nose. It doesn't have to be through the mouth. It may be through both. It may be through one or the other. But I want you to do it as strongly as possible. So it looks a little something like this. And the key to making this work is that you want to keep the entire spine moving. In fact, you want to keep the entire body moving. Okay? Sometimes it almost becomes like a dance, that everything is moving. You know, I feel myself. Here, let's see. I'm just going to move the camera to see if you can just see. I sometimes feel myself like riding a horse. You know, down, riding a horse, just kind of. And sometimes it becomes almost like spontaneous movements, or the hands just shake. It's critical that you keep the body moving. Why is it critical? People often, when I first introduce this, some people say, oh, I don't know about this fast breathing. Don't you start hyperventilating? Don't you, as sometimes will happen in Reichian breathing or rebirthing or holotropic breathing, the sensations become so strong, you go into that kind of extremely painful, hyperventilative tetany. That happens when you're lying on your back on the floor, and in a sense, your body isn't really moving that much. As long as you keep the body constantly moving in the upright, that kind of hyperventilative response does not occur. I've never seen it with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, doing this practice. The other thing, though, I'm quick to add, because I have great respect for Wilhelm Reich and Leonard Orr and Stan Grof and the people that are spreading strong breathing practices through the planet. If people that go into those hyperventilative states, you then, you usher up, you dredge up a great deal of stored pain so rapidly. And yes, it is a very painful ride through, but you get through and you definitely feel extremely refreshed. So there's nothing wrong with that. But don't worry about that. It's not going to occur in this practice. Doing the strong breathing for 15 minutes is very challenging. Okay? It's very challenging. After, the first minute or two, it feels like, I don't know if I can do this. You can do it. You just keep doing it. You just keep doing it. And it's like anything. Once you've done the practice 3 or 4 or 5 times, suddenly it becomes easier. And then we can start going very, very deep, because what I find happens with the practice, the deeper it goes, the stronger the breathing occurs. I start dredging up what I call the primal contraction, the place deep in the core that the Dharma really wants to pop open, expose, so we can let it go. You know, if we can't even experience it, we can't let it go. So it brings up some of the deep emotional holdings and withholdings. There are times when I do the strong breathing, it can become strongly emotional, deep sadness, strong fear, strong anger. It can come up, or strong physical holdings. And then in the retreat that we'll be doing, I very much want to work with that and guide us as to how to deal with that when it comes up. We want to welcome those emergencies to come up. We want to learn how to breathe right into the emotional pains, the physical pains. It is extraordinarily healing. Okay. Anyway, we're going to do that today only for about 5 minutes. At the end of the 5 minutes, or when we really start doing the practice next Saturday, at the end of the 15 minutes, you're finally getting through the 15 minutes. I will let people know that the 15 minutes is over. Today it's 5 minutes. I'll let you know when that's over. And then what I want you to do is to exhale completely and fully. Take a Blow it out, blow it out. And then let go to an inhalation. You'll see there's a strong inhalation that wants to come in. At the top of this, I take what I call sippy breaths. You know, like you sip on a straw. It's like this. Filling the body, filling the breath body up as full as you possibly can, and hold it. You see, it'll extend you up, and hold it as long as you possibly can. You can hold it for 20 seconds, that's great. 40 seconds, a minute and a half, however long you can hold it. Just hold it and just be with the experience. You'll see a lot is starting to go on in the body. You can perhaps take your awareness through your body, letting go, and a great deal is going to start to occur. You can't hold the breath any longer. Let it out. And again, maybe with your hands on your knees, and you can kind of maybe collapse back a little bit behind your sitting bones and just blow the air out. And keep blowing it out, blowing it out, blowing it out. And then you let the air come in now. You're going to start seeing that breath is truly a breath. As I say, the other beautiful statements that I've grabbed to is the Buddha himself, his culminating instruction on breathing. It's not just to remain aware of breath, it's to breathe through the whole body. As you breathe in, somehow you feel breath breathing in through the whole body. Somehow you feel breath breathing out through the whole body. And we sit today for another 5 minutes. Body will be awakened. There is going to be a great deal of shimmer, great deal of flows of sensation. The body, you may have to breathe much more deeply than you have. You may find you can get caught at the top of an inhalation, the bottom of an inhalation. You just surrender to the breath. And we sit in, this current, or what I call, it's like sitting in a flame. There's a shimmer that really does just want to burn away everything that you're not. So we do that for today for 5 minutes. And then the final 5 minutes today, 15 minutes next week, and in the ensuing part of the retreat, I want people to lie down on their backs. You have a yoga mat and a pillow, or just on the floor or on a bed. Next week, when we start doing this, I'll definitely want people to set up not only their sitting seat, whether you're sitting cross-legged on the floor, on a kneeling bench, or on a chair, but also a lying down. Because we're going to want to lie down for 5 minutes today and just do nothing, just let go, just relax. This is not just, okay, I've worked, now I can let go. This section is as important as the previous 3. Sometimes I'll find after a while the exhale just goes on and on and on, and you can even just dissolve away. Okay? When I then come back after the end of however long, 15 minutes, when I'm doing it on my own, 5 minutes today, see how you feel. Okay? So we'll be, let's just get started here in, how are we doing on time? Okay, yeah, this is perfect timing. We can, finish up at the end of the hour, and then I'll talk briefly. And then Amanita is going to finish up our time here. But what I'm wanting everybody to do is just to sit. Just to sit. Just to sit. Sit up as tall as I can be, but as relaxed as I can. Breath by breath. On every inhalation, can you feel the spine lengthen? The inhalation lengthens, the exhalation shortens back. Eyes closed, eyes open, it doesn't matter. If your eyes are open, can you let yourself register the whole, roughly elliptical visual field so that you're seeing the whole of the visual field all at once. The only way you can do this is to feel the whole of the body all at once. Feel the body, you see the whole of the visual field, especially on the exhale. The whole of the sensational body, literally sensational body. Just relax right into the visual field that is coming right to you. And then there are sounds in the background. I don't know if you can just hear, there were howler monkeys. Sounds like a truck is going past us. And you invite the feeling awareness, the shimmer in the whole of the body. Come forward. I know I'm throwing a lot at you very, very quickly over the course of retreat. Awakening the body, finding relaxation, the resilience in this practice becomes much easier. Right now, as best you can. Can you experience the whole of your body? Unified field. Can you see the whole of the visual field? Unified field. Can you let the sound stabilize everything? Keep relaxing and keep yielding to the breath. Summoning your helpers. Slowly the body awakens, you may stretch. Again, we're just establishing a reasonable amount of alignment, an attitude of relaxation, inviting resilience, awakening sensations in the body. The eyes open, if your eyes are open, inviting the visual field. Roughly elliptical visual field come to you. The sound stabilize you. Okay. Staying with alignment, relaxation, resilience. Start breathing. You only do this for 5 minutes. Just start. Remember to keep the spine, the whole body moving. Breathe with me, please. Just keep going. One breath after the other. Just breathe. Whatever comes up, be with it. Just keep breathing. Just keep breathing. I'm going to be doing this for 3 more minutes. Just keep going. Maybe riding your horse, maybe moving your body. Let everything move like you're out on a dance floor. Spontaneous motions on a dance floor. The more you keep the body moving, the less tendency you have to get locked in your thoughts. Just keep breathing. Just keep breathing. Just another minute, minute and a half. One more minute. Get everything moving. Shake your hands. Really shake them. Get everything moving. You'll get hot. Thirty more seconds. Exhale fully, holding it out as long as you can. You can't hold it any longer. Let the fullest inhalation possible come in. Sippy breaths at the top. And now hold your breath, filling your body as full as you possibly can on the inhalation. Just hold it. Whatever happens, let it happen. Sensations start surging, let them happen. Buzzing occurs. When you can hold it 1 second longer, whole exhalation again. Collapse down. You let your head hang forward, your pelvis around, your spine around, back behind you, your pelvis to move behind your sitting bones. You can let the fullest exhalation out. The breath come back in. And just sit again for another few minutes here. Feel how different the body feels. Even with just this abbreviated form of the practice. Wherever you feel tension, let go. Soft, relax. How tall can I be? How relaxed can I be? Can I let the force of breath make its transmitted way through my body? Just like how a wave moves through a body of water. One of my most important teachers once said to me, body is something wrapped around a breath. Let the wraps flow freely, like silk scarves. So nothing is held or restricted. Okay, and now what I'd like you to do is just lie down. Lie down for 3, 4, 5 minutes here. Just lie down on your back. And even with this abbreviated form of the practice, there's going to have been a stirring, an awakening, a stronger revelation or sense of the shimmer. Okay, and let's just come back up to sitting. It's actually very common during this fourth dissolving section of the practice to really go out completely, to fall asleep. There have been times when I've done the practice that I wake up 40 minutes later. But always when I come out of this practice and I get up and I start moving around, I feel pretty good that I can now meet my day. So as I say, this is becoming something of the centerpiece of my sitting practice, to have at least some of this section of breathing. How powerful is this practice? Here's what I say about this practice. Do the practice 10 times And your experience of sitting meditation is going to be transformed. It just will be. There's going to be so much more of an understanding of alignment, relaxation, resilience. Do the practice 20 times, and your understanding of the goals of spiritual practice will be transformed. What we realize, oh, this is what opening is. This is what awakening is. Oh, perhaps it's different from what you think it is. In fact, what you think it isn't. There's an opening and awakening that wants to occur. And doing this practice 20 times is going to start giving you a sense of what that is. Do this practice 30 days, 30 times, and you're going to be transformed. It's happened to me. It's been happening to so many people. And I find so many people are, writing to me constantly that, this is becoming more and more their, the cornerstone of their sitting practice. You need to do it every day. I don't necessarily do it every day. I do it most days. I also do a lot of just sitting, the hala bamboo, Dharma sitting. But this to me, as I say, it's still becoming more and more of a centerpiece. We had this idea, some of the students who've been working with me came up with this idea. Why don't we do this as a 30-day challenge? So starting next Saturday, and we're going to meet Saturday mornings for 5 Saturdays in a row for 3 hours on Zoom. And I invite people, and they don't necessarily have to do it every day for 30 days. Some of you will do it every day for 30 days. It is really going to affect you hugely. It's just a huge, strong effect on body and mind. The end of doing this practice 30 times, you probably won't want to stop. And now I've had people doing it for 90 days. I've had people doing it for half a year. I've been now doing this for multiple years. But if you bring this practice into your life, it's going to heal. Not only is it going to heal you physically and emotionally, and I see this approach to practice, not just about spiritual transformation, which it is, but it's accompanied by an emotional and physical healing that to me is foundational and necessary for the spiritual transformation to occur. Okay? So we just keep doing the practice, doing the practice, doing the practice. If you're drawn to this at all, if it feels like it's time in your life that you really want to have a strong awakening, I really invite you to join us. I can virtually guarantee you're going to be different at the end of the 30-day challenge. As I say, I don't expect people necessarily to do it every day, although you can. I know a number of people have said they want to do that. What you can do is maybe do it in addition to Saturday at least 3 times during the week, and then keep going into the new year to finish up your 30 days. What I will alert you to right now, though, you finish this for 30 days, you probably are not going to want to let it go. That's how revitalizing and frankly, how healing it can feel. And the other thing that this will be the last free Zoom interaction that we're going to have this year. I also invite people, those of you who are really sincere and serious and get that, this next year, it's been such a crazy year, 2020. This next year, you want this to be the year where you really, really, madly, truly, and deeply get into the Dharma. Let the Buddhist Dharma truly awaken you. I invite you to join this ever-growing Sangha that we're putting together for a whole year long of practices. We'll have 2 Saturdays every month throughout the entire year of practices together. I'll be doing another 7-day online retreat next July to participate in that. And what I'm also wanting to do in the year-long retreat intensive, I like interacting individually with people. So once a month, I'm going to want to have a private Zoom call with everybody who's involved in that practice. You know, I view this 30-day challenge as the start of true waking up for those of us that really want to go for it. Okay. This year-long Sangha to join in is the time to treat yourself. Let the magic of what these teachings are all about embody themselves in your experience. This is open for everybody. It's not just, oh, I have to be this type of person or that type of person. I have to have this kind of body or that kind of body. It's for all of us. So this is just a brief taste that I've wanted to share with you. There'll be more and more of these kinds of practices coming. I know in January I want to keep doing some more of these free Zoom interactions. I want to stay in touch with you folks. For now, though, I just want to thank you for joining me in this morning's practice. I wish you all well. I look forward to seeing as many of you as possible, starting with the Hollow Bamboo Retreat or moving into the year-long practice. For now, thank you so much. And I'm going to turn this back over to dear friend Manida to finish us up. Thank you, folks. Manida.
Okay, thank you so much, Will. It was just a wonderful way for me to start the day, and I could have laid on the floor for a lot longer. But yeah, I just really thank you for sharing your teachings, and the 30-day challenge really encouraged people to take Will up on that. I actually tried to do the practice for every day. I think I did it for 7 days, and it was really amazing. And as you experience 15 minutes, you can really experience a lot. So thank you so much. It's really been lovely practicing with you all this morning, and wish you all well.